Just popped down today to pick my first crop of damsons ever. This damson that I've got here was grown from seed back in 2013, so it's now 6 years old, this tree, and you can see there's my first ones there. Not a brilliant crop, but it's a first crop that it's got, and it's still got a few damsons on it, as you can see. Show you. Okay, so it just shows you can grow these from seed. I stratified these seeds, that is, I put them, I cracked open the stones from a damson. So this damson here, you'd have to crack open the stone from inside it and get to the seed, and I kept it in the fridge. And I put some in the freezer as well, and I just planted a load of them in pots, and those actually germinated. I planted them after a good year. I let them grow at home in pots for a year and then planted them on the allotment. And so here we have my first crop. And these were from damsons that I found in neighbouring villages that had spilled out loads of their fruit onto the pavement. Everyone was walking on the crushed damsons. I just picked a load up, took them home, got the stones, and a bit of patience, there you go. So I'd say 6 years and you get a bush about this size. I'm going to contain this one probably to no more than about 6 foot high. Maybe next year we get much better crop. You can of course let them grow tall. Today's experiment is treating pear rust. As you can see, my pear trees are riddled with it. It's also affected my crops as well. Some people say pick them off, there's just too many of them. So I'm going to try the trusty lavender oil that I've got, which is contained in a mineral body spray, which you can buy. So what I'm using here is a Dead Sea Collection, it's a mineral body wash, and you can see, if I just turn that around for you, it's got lavender oil, it's got some bromide in there as well, which is an antiseptic, and the lavender oil works, basically I think it's quite antifungal, and also seems to work against insect attack. So I'm spraying trunks of trees, including the pear trees, apple trees, plum trees as well, and my cherries as well. So this year, this is my trial with something with lavender oil. You can of course buy lavender oil from the chemist and just make 10 drops into 1 litre and add a bit of detergent if you do that. The detergent helps it to stick, and I've just pumped it up from a spray bottle. So that's what I'm doing today. Here we have one pear tree which I've treated already with the lavender oil, and to me the pear rust looks much as if it's suffering, so I'll try and find one that has been unaffected. But this to me looks like the actual organism itself, the fungus, does not look like it's proliferating, or does not look like it's healthy after being sprayed. So I mean, I'll keep on spraying. What I'll do is every 3 or 4 days I'll give it a light coating of the lavender oil wash, and I'll just try and see whether it works. When I last looked, apart from various powerful fungicides, no one could suggest anything to get rid of this apart from picking off the leaves and burning them. But if you've got a spray that can knock out the fungus, then at least the leaves are still alive and photosynthesizing. Of course now it's end of season. The next essential oils I'm going to be trialling on the plot are going to be this, and they come from a foaming face wash. This contains a couple of essential oils which I think could be very useful on the allotment. It's got tea tree oil and peppermint oil. Now I do believe tea tree oil and peppermint oil are very potent on the allotment. They may well be incredibly antifungal, so this would be good for treating various fungal infections on trees, the early forms of canker, and particularly around the graft sites on grafted fruit trees, and where you tend to get sort of canker on other trees. But at the moment I'm trialling the lavender oil, but this will be the next one I'll try. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little first harvest from the damson tree, and as you can see, some of my other plum trees have got first harvest as well. I don't tend to get a heavy crop for the first year of cropping, but just pleased to see that this is working. And again, this has had the lavender oil wash on it regularly. It does, and I think the foliage looks a lot healthier for it, with a lot less sort of shot hole and a lot less damage. And certainly this tree hasn't been affected by the soot mould which affected others of my plum trees. So at least you've got a small crop, enough to put on a bit of porridge. So despite all the pestilence, by using sprays judiciously, that's like bicarb and soda crystals, and then lately of course my lavender oil, my secret lavender oil spray, doing the whole trees, I've managed to now get myself a decent supply of fruit. So basically these are the most ripe of the plums. Some of them are quite heavily scarred. You know, I'll have a look when I get home, see if you can eat them. I'm basically aiming for the breakfast porridge along with some raspberries, and of course I've got my first crop, as I showed you earlier, of damsons. So I hope that's of use to you, for those of you who grow fruit trees in these challenging conditions. And also the new idea I've got of using the lavender oil wash to treat pear rust, because pear rust where I live is so prevalent and so there's so many leaves affected. I thought you might as well just try an essential oil, lavender oil being a good one. My next thing I'm going to try out for fungal treatments, as I told you, is tea tree and peppermint oil, and I found a wash which has got plenty of the essential oils already in it with the detergent, so I'll dilute that down. Well, the mosquitoes are coming, so I'll see you next time. Well, that's it for tonight then. I hope you've enjoyed the allotment, and this is how you should be kitted up if you have to go down at this time of night. There you go. So for those of you like me who water late on, then this is how to do it.
Very fetching.
Oh, thanks.